Welcome to the morning after CFFL edition, week 1. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're going to have probably a pretty quick show today. The sideline reporter is not in today as she had to go to school today. And our other sideline reporter is outside, so there's no accidents in the house while I'm doing the show. So we'll get right to the show and take a look at this week's action. First of all, we had week 1. We had the Horn Dogs knocking off the Gargoyles 64.5 to 57.5. Russell Wilson was the big scorer for the Horn Dogs. But finally, Ryan Matthews last night ended up winning the game late for him as it was a close game. Gargoyles had no players in double figures except for their kicker, Matt Bryant, who had 18. Also, we saw the Cardinals take down the Bruisers 68.5 to 46. Matt Ryan led the Cardinals with 23. Nick Foles led the Bruisers with 46. Dating back to last year now, this is the Bruisers' 6th straight loss. Sorry to rain on your parade, Bernie. But the team had a rough stretch at the end of last year. This team looks to be quite a bit better. But still continues a downward trend for the Bruisers. Can they shake it off next week as they play the Horn Dogs? Upset of the week, in fact, the only upset of the week, this week went to the Donkeys as they crushed the Garbage Men 84.5 to 53. Garbage Men were favored by 5.5. Megatron had 21 for the Donkeys. Andrew Luck had 22.5 and a solid showing for the Garbage Men, although they are concerned about the status of Eddie Lacy next week due to his concussion. We also saw the Badgers take down the Kongs in a bit of a rout, 86.5 to 53.5. Julius Thomas and Marshawn Lynch combined for 43 points. Peyton Manning had 17 for the Kongs. This aging team will probably improve as the year goes on, although they might wear down because they're a little bit old. But I'm sure the Kongs will get his team turned around and bounce back again. Badgers, though, with a very strong start this year. Team LBM falls to the Dingoes, 54.5 to 50.5. Dingoes moved to 0-1 and snapped their 4-game losing streak from last year. Colin Kaepernick led Team LBM with 12.5 points. Vernon Davis and Antonio Brown, the receivers for the Dingoes, had 26.5 points combined to help propel him to a victory. And finally, we had In Rogers We Trust taking down the Bone Storm in another rout, 82 to 43. Matt Stafford had 22.5. Cutler had 15.5 for the Bone Storm. Bone Storm's 5-game winning streak from last year is snapped. This weekend we did a lot of injuries and stuff like that, so it was an interesting week 1 in the CFFL. So let's get to the player of the week this week in the CFFL. This week's player of the week was Orange Julius Thomas, 104 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, 24 points. Another awesome showing in week 1 for Julius Thomas. Propel the Badgers to their big victory. Next up, we will look at the Walk of Shame. There was a lot of choices for the Walk of Shame. I was going to maybe look at the guys who really focused on receivers this week, so they struggled week 1. Kind of looking at some of the actions. Some of the guys who struggled. Jamal Charles had a really rough week. Andy Reid saying he kind of forgot about him. He'd have been a good choice. However, yesterday morning, kind of gave me an easy choice for Walk of Shame of the week. Ray Rice. I don't know what else to say. Really screwed himself over there, and the Raven team. Also, as you can see, we have continued our relationship with ESPN in breaking news. When reached for comment yesterday, Chad, the owner of Team LBM, just simply replied, "When can I put in my waiver claim?" Team LBM is scrambling right now to find a quality running back. They have Joey Bell, and that is about it. Right now, Yobich, top free agent pickup. Pretty easy one, I think. Justin Forsett, running back for the Ravens, 70 yards rushing, 14 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown. Not that those are great numbers. However, Bernard Pierce looked terrible. I think he might have got banged up again. Ray Rice is gone, so they're going to obviously be giving him the ball now. Not a great player. There's a couple other guys, some injuries here and there, but nothing right now for sure, as different a guy's gone. But we'll have to see who is the top free agent pickup this week. And then as for Griff's gripe, we'll get to that right now. Griff's gripe this week. The gripe this week is on the 12th man in Seattle. Have you all heard about this 12th man thing at CenturyLink Field for the Seahawks? It's the most hyped thing by ESPN since the backup quarterback in Cleveland. Here's 2 fun facts for Seahawks fans. The loudest recorded stadium on record is actually Arrowhead Stadium at 137.5 decibels in 2013. Also the term 12th man was first used by Texas A&M in the 20s. So Seahawks fans, if you're going to proclaim something, make sure it makes sense, like Titletown, USA. Griff, though, there's also, some other things that maybe anti-Packer fans will get with me here. Packers also started calling themselves America's team at some point, which I believe the Cowboys started in the 1970s. The frozen tundra at Lambeau, while it is cold here, the coldest recorded game, I believe, was in the 1985 AFC Championship in Cincinnati, where it was like negative 30. So, and then also the most height thing, how about the Lambeau Leap? How about the frozen tundra? How about Brett Favre? So now you can understand why it's been frustrating to live here if you're not a Packer fan, as you see the Seahawks fans dominating the news. But you're right, Johnny Manziel's probably worse. Michael Sam, they over-covered. I think that's ESPN's MO there. Finally this week, we will take a look now at the games of the week next week. Gargoyles at 0-1 will try to bounce back as they take on the Cardinals in a rivalry game in that division. And also the Badgers take on the Garbage Men. Super Bowl champion from 2 years ago against the runner-up in the Super Bowl the last 2 years, I believe, for the Garbage Men. So it'll be a big game there. Garbage Men try to bounce back, try to get their season righted, and the Badgers trying to keep up their momentum that they've built. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I kept it short this week after going long last week. Good luck to everyone. Good luck in the free agent frenzy that is Thursday morning. So make sure to get all your claims in. Also, the one last thing I think I've forgotten to say. Everyone I think knows this. Rebeck might not. If you start a player who's on bye, or if you start a player who's on injured reserve, unless they go on injured reserve like that night before, if they're on injured reserve for a couple days beforehand, you will be fined $5. That will go to the first place winner, whoever wins the title that year. So that's just a way to make sure everyone keeps tuned in throughout the year. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I will talk to you next week. Bye.